Brighton have plenty of players who grab headlines, the flair players, the goal scorers and the big transfer names. But sometimes the most important players are the ones who quietly make everything work. And right now, that is Diego Gomez. In this video, I'm breaking down why Gomez is Brighton's most underrated player and why his role is far more important than it might look at first glance. Welcome back to the Louis Selling YouTube channel. I am back once again with another tactical analysis, and this one, well, it is all about Diego Gomez and why he's Brighton's most underrated player, because this season he has had quite a lot of criticism from Brighton fans for not being good enough, for being too slow, not good enough with the ball, for being bad at passing, having a poor first touch. But when you look at his clips and his stats, you really start to understand why Fabian Hürzeler is playing him and starting him pretty much every week. And you see why he was so crucial to those two wins against Brentford and Nottingham Forest. So first, let's go and have a look at those stats. So I have to start this segment by saying that these stats here that we're going to see are some of the best that I have seen from a player that I've analysed on this channel so far. Today, we're going to look at both the per 90s and the totals because they just highlight how good he has been and how underrated he is amongst Brighton fans. We'll start with his shooting because that is one of his main attributes. His goals per 90, 0.24, and his expected goals, 0.24. So pretty level there, outperforming it by just a little bit. But for a player who has a lot of competition, is playing as a winger, as a 10 and slightly deeper, this is where I want him to be. From 1,766 minutes, this is pretty much spot on. High 70 percentile, low 80 percentile is perfect for a player that is really young as well. And if he'd played more minutes at the start of the season, these stats would have been much, much higher. His shot, 1.58 per 90, is something that surprises me a little bit. I thought it would be just over that 2 per 90 mark because he's a player that likes to take a lot of shots and he's one of the only players in the Brighton squad that does shoot from anywhere and everywhere. His shots on target, 0.66, is something that definitely needs to be improved. He's still raw, he still has a lot to learn. And from those shots per 90, that 1.56, if he got a few more on target, I have no doubt that he could be a double-digit goal scorer in the Premier League. He's already scored 10 goals across all competitions this season, but if he just improves that shooting just a little bit, he could score so many more goals. If we look at his totals, you will see there he's green on pretty much everything. 5 goals, fantastic return in my opinion for a young player playing his first full season of Premier League football. I think everyone forgets that part because he joined in January last year. He's already played half a season in the Premier League, but a full season is much, much different. Expected goals, 4.72, so he's outperforming his expected goals, and his XG on target, 4.13, he's outperforming that as well. 31 shots across all the games this season, 29 games, about one a game, just over. I thought it would be more than that, as I said. His shots on target, 13, that just shows he's just over a third of his shots on target from his total shots. As I said, if he improves that, he scores so many more goals. If we move on to his passing now, this is something that does let him down a little bit. No assists. His expected assists are 0.07. 25 successful passes per 90 puts him in that mid-table for the percentiles. Successful pass percentage, 78%, in that lower mid-table percentile. Accurate long balls, 0.82. Quite good, in my opinion, for a per 90. 50% accuracy isn't the best, isn't the worst. Chances created, just over 1 per 90. Big chances, 0.15. Successful crosses, 0.52. But successful cross percentage is 27.8%, which is just under that 30% mark. When we look at the totals, there is a bit less green here. 1.29 expected assists this season. This is something that definitely needs to be improved for the rest of the season and next season. Successful passes, 492 this season, puts him in a green percentile towards that high 70s, low 80s, which is really good. If you look at his per 90, you think it would be much, much lower. I do understand that stats aren't the be-all and end-all, and you need to have that eye test because he has played quite a few wayward passes this season. Even the short passes he's messed up. So that needs to be something that gets out of his game. But once he does that, you can see how good. He's already improved those in those last few games, especially this year in 2026. And from doing that, he's pushed his way into the team, forced his way into that starting 11, and has been one of the best players. If we look at the possession now, quite a lot of green still on that percentile thing on the 90, on the per 90s. Successful dribbles 0.76 per 90. He's not the best dribbler, that is for sure. He's messed up quite a few dribbles. He's not as fast as the likes of Minte or Matoma. He's much better being that box crusher, that number 10, which we will look at in a minute. So in terms of being an out-and-out winger, that isn't his best attribute, as you can see, from under 50% of his expected dribbles. But the main stats here are all in green because that is his duels 1 and his aerial duels 1. His work rate and his ability in the air is second to none to everyone in this Brighton team. 6.88 duels 1 per 90, 49.6% of his duels 1, 2.19 aerial duels 1, and 56.6% of those aerial duels 1. All of those are in the high 80s, low 90s, even for the aerial duels in that high 90 percentile. He had something to this Brighton team that they were crying out for that November, end of November, December, January, February period. And it is no surprise since he's come in, the intensity has been better, the player's been better, and we've started winning some games. If we look at the totals, they are still right up there in the high 90s. 135 duels won this season. That will be one of the highest in the Brighton squad. Just under 50% for an attacking player. That is outstanding. Aerial duels won 43. Again, that'll be one of the highest in the Brighton squad. And 56.6% of those aerial duels won will be right up there once again. He adds a bit of grit, desire, determination and passion that Brighton need. And having someone on that right wing, on that left wing, that can win those aerial duels is something that Brighton have been starting to do. It's a cheat code, really. If you can ping a ball out wide and someone's going to win it in the air, whereas a traditional winger won't, give you so much more. He can do those flick-ons in behind to Danny Welbeck or Charalampos Costelas, or he can hold the ball up, bring it down, knock it back into play. It is something that Fabian Herzler has used perfectly in these last few games. The defending as well, he's really high in his per 90s for his tackles, 3.52 per 90. For an attacking player, this is insane. An attacking player shouldn't be this good at tackling. It means his pressing is so much better than other players in the team. It allows that intensity, as I said, to be higher, and it allows him to go slightly higher as well, because more often than not, he is going to win those balls back. Recoveries, 4.18 per 90, really, really good as well. He's more than happy to track back that work right, as I said, and win the ball back. 82 this season is just brilliant, and that 69 tackles as well is going to be one of the highest in the Brighton squad. It puts him in the 100th percentile for attackers, which, as I said, is just really, really good to see. If we look at his heat map, you can see he's on this right-hand side, most of his red, but it is kind of spread out all over the pitch because he can play anywhere and everywhere. If you told him to play left-back, he would play there. If you told him to play right-back, he would play there. I'm pretty sure he's done that under Fabian Herzler as well. But mostly on this right-hand side where he started to find his way into the team and started to see himself in that starting 11. He can be wide, then he likes to drift Navarro. He'll be on that touchline really, really wide, slightly deeper in between the halfway line and the edge of the box, as you can see. But once he gets towards that box, he will get inside of it. And if you flick over to his shot map, you can see those edge of the box arriving late, getting those shots away. One of his goals has come from inside the 6-yard box, one from the penalty spot, but all the rest of the goals and the shots have come from the edge of the box, where he's really, really intelligent of finding pockets of space that other players don't find. And if he improved that quality a little bit more, as I said, he could easily double his tally across all competitions and in the Premier League get double figures. But it isn't just about the stats, it is about the eye test as well, as I said. So let's jump over to the media drawer to show a few of these clips. A few of his goals from games against Leeds, Brentford and Nottingham Forest. So we will start with a clip of his goal against Nottingham Forest, because I think this move kind of sums up the type of player that he is. It has a bit of everything. But he starts as this player here on the right-hand side. As you saw from the heat map just a second ago, he starts wide, slightly deeper, to then open up this space to be able to run inside. Jack Hinchelwood, really, really important in this as well. Being that number 10 and dropping deeper, almost like an 8, opens up this gap in here for Gomez to then run into. Gomez starting wide and then coming inside also means that Van Hecke can play a shorter pass in here if he needs to and if he wants to, and then Gomez can turn and try and run with it. He sees that Van Hecke is going to go long, so he comes inside here into that pocket of space and immediately makes that run forward. As I said in the start, in the first segment, he's not that quick. He's not a Minte, he's not a Matoma and wingers like that. He's a bit different. He's more of a central player, slightly slower. But what he does have is his work rate, his strength, his physicality to not give up on anything. Williams is going to win this ball here, that is for sure. There's no doubt about that. He's going to get the first contact on it. But Gomez doesn't give up on it. Really, really nice deceleration in here. Plants that leg, plants that foot, slows down, because if Williams takes a good touch and he tries to run into this area in here, it means that Gomez can also follow him, turn quick, and then try and jockey him, try and send him down the line and stop a quick counter-attack. Most wingers would probably just continue that run in here and look like they've just done the run wrong, try to get him behind, but realistically it's a little bit lazy because they're not going to defend. Williams actually takes a really, really bad touch. Gomez immediately springs onto it. He wants to win that ball. He's in the advantage position here. He's stronger than Williams, not as quick, but he's stronger and he has more determination in this situation. Immediately that leg and arm comes out here, as you can see. Boom, boom, boom. Leg and arm comes out to get in front, get his body in front, get that ball first before Williams. And by doing that, he creates a really, really dangerous chance, because look at all the space in here now from him winning that ball back. Going quick, starting narrow, coming wide, starting deeper, coming high, and doing this. He's now in this position here. This is where I'd like him to improve slightly, a bit more technical ability on the ball, a bit more flair sometimes, because coming in here, if he does do that, means that he can play a ball in here. Welbeck arrives late, Gross arrives late, Matoma at the back post. There's so many options there for a tap in. Just a little bit more from him there would be nice, but he makes up for that lack of flair by being strong and playing these simple passes, which are so effective. He plays a lovely pass back to Welbeck, because Murillo is a very good centre-back. He gets in the way, gets in front of him and stops him from progressing down the line. Plays the ball back to Danny Welbeck. It bounces around a little bit, it bobbles, but most importantly here, Gomez keeps himself on side. As you can see, really dodgy line there, but he does keep himself on side, which means he can continue to influence the play if the ball does come back to him. If he does go offside, which you see a lot of wingers do all the time, they kind of end up in this area in here. They just means nothing will happen. The ball can't come back to him. They can't be that extra option, which by Gomez doing that makes something happen. Again, he's still working hard. He's still pressing. He's done his bit already. He's won the ball back. He's made that run and he's played it into the middle. He could easily switch off and just come wider, but he's getting back in there. He's trying to get to the ball first to win it back for his side, which he doesn't do because it's a good-ish defensive header away from Williams. It kind of drops in this area here. Gross picks it up and it's a really, really nice dink pass over the top to Gomez. He pulls away. He's intelligent, really, really intelligent in here. Opens himself this space in here, all of this, by not being a headless chicken, not being hot-headed and just running into the box or coming wide like most wingers do. He stays in this position, which we'll see more in a minute. His box crashing ability and his intelligence to just be calm and hold off. Ball comes over to him. He doesn't take a touch. He lets it bounce in here, which can be really dangerous. The defender could clear it away, but he backs himself to get something on it and get a shot away. Crazy position to take a shot from, No doubt about that. It's a ridiculous angle. But his shooting, as I said, he has the ability to pull something like this off. Just score an absolute worldie out of nowhere. He lets it bounce. Lets it bounce up. He brings this leg back. Plants the left leg really, really well. Nice on that right leg. Bent really well. Just to swing it. Gets above the ball. Which means that he can do this. Many, many players, wingers, attackers, midfielders, anywhere on the pitch would try and volley this in here, which will be blocked by this defender or the defender's leg in here, or try and go near post. Maybe you could score there, but very likely the keeper saves it or it goes over the bar. But he's clever. He knows that with VAR nowadays, a lot of defenders are turning their bodies with their arms behind their back and lifting their leg up on a sideways position to try and block it, which is really, really effective because it happens most weeks and all 9 out of 10 are blocked. So Gomez sort of slices underneath the ball to put it underneath Murillo's leg and spin it across the floor, glide it just above the grass on the floor. As you can see here, skims off the floor from his foot here. That snapped shot, you can see that body position where he's cut across it really quickly because his right foot is almost facing the opposite direction to the touchline. It goes across the floor and it ends up in this corner. Sell should do better, that is for sure. It hits his hand but goes underneath him. Doesn't take anything away from the finish though. It's a ridiculous angle and a ridiculous volley. Fantastic. This screenshot here shows that cutting under the ball a bit better. The leg is lifted up here, going underneath. You can see the spin and the rotation on the ball just from the screenshot. Glides it, lovely, lovely shot across the grass and into that far corner. Again, the half volley is something that is a dying art in football as well. If you remember Thiago's in the Champions League a few years ago for Liverpool that just hovered across the grass, just like that. It was a beautiful goal. But this goal, as I said, highlights and sums up everything Gomez does. That starting wide, coming inside, chasing the ball, pressing it, winning back, being strong, playing a nice pass inside, doing the simple things correctly, holding that space, being in good positions in those half spaces is simple really, but not many people do it. When you do it effectively, things like this could happen. And of course, he ends it with an absolutely beautiful finish into that far corner to put Brighton ahead against Nottingham Forest and pick up a big 3 points in this game. The next is one against Brentford. Slightly different. He's just stands in this space. This is all about his box crashing and his intelligence once again. Ferdi Kadioglu has the ball in here. Diego Gomez has the ball, or is the player in this space out here. Could somewhat influence the play, I suppose, with his heading ability. As I said, one of the best in the squad. If Kadioglu decides to play a ball to the black post, floats it, Gomez can head it back across, maybe. Most wingers in this situation you'll probably see come slightly narrower and try and get involved if a cross does come in. But I like this from Gomez. He's staying away from that scuffle in the box because if the ball does come to him, he can make things happen. And that is exactly what does happen in the end and exactly what he does. Ferdi Kadioglu, really, really nice strike into this far corner here. Gomez is still this player in here, in this pocket of space. The left back hasn't picked him up because he's occupying the striker, and the midfielder or the winger is not coming back as well. So he has a lot of distance in here. If the ball does come to him, he is the absolute favourite to get on the end of it. It hits off the crossbar, the shot from Ferdi Kadioglu. Really, really unlucky there. One of the best players in this game, that is for sure. Gomez is still in all of this space from just standing still. Sometimes standing still is the best thing that you can do, because the players don't pick you up. They don't think you are a danger. Brentford should do better in this defensive situation. Someone should pick him up. But because not many people do what he does, it's hard to pick up because people aren't expecting it. An attacker to just stay away from the play almost. It's bouncing around again in here. Brentford still haven't picked him up. From a neutral point of view, this is really poor defending. It's really frustrating because a player should be marking a player in that much space in the box. From a Brighton point of view, fantastic, because it means Gomez can do his thing. But most of the credit should go to Gomez because he has that intelligence. I'm going to say that so many times. Has that intelligence to just stay away, bring himself back, step away, pick up those pockets of space that not many players do. It's a bit different. That was something that Fabian Hürzeler was praised for at St. Pauli and when he first come to Brighton, picking up those pockets of space that you wouldn't usually pick up and not many players and people expect you to pick up. Bouncing ball, Gomez does really, really well in here to keep it on the floor. His half-volleying ability is second to none as well. Half-volley, as I said, are dying up, but when he does it, he's usually going to find the back of the net. He's still in so much space. People will think it's a really easy chance because of that space, and he can just ping it into here, but it's actually really, really difficult. He has to keep it down first thing from the half volley. You see so many times a bouncing ball come in, a player spoons it over the bar. He also has a player here that can block it, a player here that can block it, and a player here that can block it. And this player in here, I'm not sure who it is, might be Henry, can charge him and try and get a block as well. So he has to try and get it through a crowd of players into this bottom corner. Really nice finish, does really, really well, and it does end up in here. Fantastic goal once again. It looks easy, but it isn't. Having that intelligence to stay away from the play is something that will stand him in good stead going into the rest of the season and next season. And he will keep his name on this team sheet, that is for sure, if he continues to do this. If he improves that shooting ability just a little bit, then, as I said, he will double his tallies easily. But picking up these spaces is just so good, so intelligent. So please watch out for this. These next two are somewhat similar. They come against Leeds, where his box crashing ability is what makes the goal. He does score both, but it's not just the finishes, it is that ability to stay away and then make a late charge into the box. He's, in my opinion, the best box crasher in the Premier League, if not the world. Yes, that is a crazy statement, but I think it is somewhat true. In this game, he's not the right winger. He is the number 10. So he has a slightly different role, but he's doing similar things. He's coming deeper and he's being slightly more narrow in this position because it means that Van Hecker, similar to the first clip, can play a short ball into him here. Then he can turn or knock one back as well, and he can try and influence the play in that way. That does not happen. Van Heck, again, goes long into Minte over here. Gomez is this player in here. He's quite far away from the play. That is the first thing you will notice. But the second thing you will notice is this absolutely massive gap in here where Gomez should be. Staying deeper opens up this space for his teammates or him to make things happen. Jorginho Rutter can run into here, or he can run into here. Minte can come back, and then Gomez can make a late charge because the midfielders are then going to come in here. They can't see Gomez, so he's really, really intelligent with his positioning in this one behind both the defence and the back line as they're sprinting back. So he has that composure. He can see the full pitch. That is really, really important. The next, Minte does really, really well. Really, really nice ability on the ball here. One of his best games in a Brighton shirt this season. Knocks it down the line. And from this first one, Gomez was a decent distance away from him here. But just from those few seconds, Gomez is now just this distance-ish away from Gomez. Away from Minte. He picks up this pocket of space in here. The box crashing, arriving late, getting into the box. In front of that back line now, or behind the midfield, in front of that back line, picking up those pockets of space. Not as much space as Brentford, but still a decent amount of space to make things happen. He wants to get in there, and he wants to get on the end of it. He continues his run here now, which opens up this nice pocket of space in here and here. You should not see this in a Premier League game, that is for sure. Leeds should do better, but Gomez picking up those late runs, making those late runs, picking up those little half pockets, those random pockets of space, means that he will score so many goals like this. Minte does well to get it round the Leeds player. One of his best games, as I said. Ball comes into Jorginho Rutter. Really, really nice flick. But it actually gives Gomez a little bit more to do. Makes his job slightly harder. Continuing his run, picks up this pocket of space in here now. Opens up all of this. Just from this first clip in here, having this pocket of space means that if he kind of stays the same, it opens up all of this. Flick from Jorginho Rutter means the ball is rolling away from Gomez. Really, really important. Rolling away in all this space, 4 yards out from goal on his own. Open to just smash it into the back of the net. Really, really nice run. does well, gets on it just, and it ends up in the back of the net. Adjusts himself really well, decelerates, something that I mention on many of these videos because it's really important for a winger and attacking player to have to be able to slow themselves down and compose themselves. But this run is just fantastic. Arriving late, getting in that space, picking up those random spaces that you wouldn't normally see a player, especially a number 10 or a winger, pick up in here. This should be Danny Welbeck, realistically, if anyone's going to be in there. But Gomez doing it means nobody can pick him up. The next one in here is also against Leeds. In this first screenshot, he is not there. First thing to notice, the ball is here with Jorginho. Rutter, really good as well in this situation. Jorginho, again, one of his best games for Brighton this season. Gomez, if you really want to know, is just off the screen here, just outside that box. Jorginho Rutter is going to push that ball down the line because the Leeds player here is coming in. Pushes that ball down the line, and Gomez is still not there. As the number 10, you'd probably expect him to be in and around this space, in and around the penalty area, but he is not. He understands that if he holds off a little bit, uses his intelligence, uses his head, he will be presented with loads of space to run onto, a nice ball to run onto if Jorginho Rutter does play a decent ball back, and so much time to put it into an almost empty net. If we flick it on to the next one, you can now see Gomez is this player in here. He's on the edge of the box, and by doing that, he has again opened up the penalty spot to have a nice simple shot into the back of the net if the ball does come. He's still there. No Leeds player has picked him up. He's in front of that back line. They can't come to him because it leaves Minte, Welbeck or Rutter in space. The midfield, if they come to him, it crowds the box, but it leaves everyone free on the edge of the box if the ball comes out to make something happen. Leeds are 2-0 down in this situation, so they're trying to cheat a little bit and keep a few more players high to try and get a counter-attack, which Gomez identifies and counteracts really well. He knows there's going to be space, so he stays there. Ball comes into him here from Jorginho Rutter. Leeds still haven't picked him up, but maybe it's not a poor defending thing when you think about it. If Forest, Brentford, Leeds, it's all happened against, it's his intelligence. Again, I do think they should do slightly better, but most of the credit has to go to Gomez for his ability to be calm, not be hot-headed like most young attackers, and pick up these nice spaces. Ball comes into him, really good side-footed finish into the back of the net. How often do you see a player in the Premier League having a shot with this much space? Not very often, but it all is to do with Gomez's box crashing ability, arriving late and having a decent finish on him as well. But that's not just his game. There's so much more to it. Yes, the box crashing is his main thing and is picking up those half spaces, but his heading ability, his work rate, his ability to do the basic things very well make him, on his day, one of the best players in the Brighton squad. He's so underrated, and I really hope that Brighton fans do start to see that after watching this video. So that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure to watch Diego Gomez if you haven't, if you are a non-Brighton fan, or if you're a Brighton fan, try and look at him in a slightly different way, because he's so important to the team. And if we want to get European football, we want to play better, he is so important to that. And if you drop him, we're not going to win as many duels, not have as many chances, in my opinion. So try and look at him in a different way and look at his ability to get in the box and score those chances. Yes, there's many things he needs to improve, that is for sure. But focus on the positives, because when he does them, he's one of the best players at the club. But as I said, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you want with the video to make sure it gets those views. Thank you for all the support on the channel so far. It's been absolutely fantastic. I'm trying to aim for 500 subscribers this year. We're a bit off it, just over 100, but if we can make it happen by the end of this year, that'll be fantastic. But you know the outro by now. Do it with me. Adios.